Well, I took a bit of a break from this game lately, but now I'm back, and today I'm playing on Petits. Aside from some rules like no mix packing and some quality of life changes, this server has a player count of 300. And in the evenings when I play is peak time for EU, which isn't perfect for my ping, but it means that there's like 300 people when I get on. Sometimes even 350. So somewhere like the swamp, where you would assume is safe, might be a little more populated than usual. Despite my appearance, this isn't the type of server where you can just go crazy neon colors. The reason I'm blue is because this member named Rats had a very rare skin, and they nested me in along with many other siblings, but I just stuck with one of them for this journey. I forgot my mother's name, unfortunately, but thanks to her, I will have a really cool pattern when I grow up. Peaceful beach spot, eh? Well, yeah, in a moment not really, because I run headfirst into this freaking raptor. He seemed a bit shocked, but quickly turned around and tried to follow me. I hit him with a move that I like to call stop and stand in a bush doing nothing. It's actually very effective. Ideally, I would have liked to move a little more into this bush, but I kind of felt like at any moment he might hear the rustle, because the rustles that bushes make in this game have been significantly loudened and they drive me insane. Fortunately, on my part, maybe not my siblings, but they didn't notice the raptors till just then, so their noises drew them away, which gave me a chance to just break for it. I really didn't want to stay in this bush in case the raptors doubled back for me. Predictable ending, because how else would I have made this video, but I survived. The raptors didn't find me. Not sure how, but Chicken Tenders over here also survived the raptors, so we kept heading away. We did not want to hang around on the beach. The patrol zone just wasn't really spawning, and there was like raptors and all sorts of animals making noises. It was just not ideal. Now, I don't know if Tenos got a swim speed buff in the update, but I feel way faster than I ever did. Maybe I just never did enough swimming as a Teno. But hey, I'm happy about that, because swimming saves us pretty soon here. This juvenile, I think, Sarah, ran right past us, and the second one ran past but then stood there. I don't know if he spotted us or maybe he was typing in chat, but we both spotted him and just froze. And it was a bit of an awkward standoff until he notices, starts walking towards us. Hell no, I'm out of there. We just boosted to the water. I do not want to mess with Sarah's. I accidentally body blocked my friend just there, but we swam away and they wanted us really bad. You can see them tracking around the side of the lake here. Luckily there were no crocs in the water either, or we would have been two tasty little blueberry snacks for them. We swam far away from the Sarahs. Since we were so young, didn't use much stam at all. We just boosted away from them. Purely by accident, we ran straight into the swamp sanctuary. I didn't want to go in there that bad. I was happy to just chill on the rock, but Chicken told me to come and said that there were no bees, so I swam across. This was an absolute stroke of luck, because moments later, these two huge Sarahs walked over the rise and just slowly passed right where I was sitting. Neither of us even dared to type in chat to warn each other about the Sarahs, because I feel like they would have heard us, for sure. So we made it up through Delta, and the second that I'm not recording, Chicken sits down right by the water, and you could guess what happens after that. Yeah, Dino lunch. So from this point on, I'm kind of a solo until I get to Highlands. I was kind of just hanging around the area, considering my food is on an island surrounded by dinos. But some raptors came over and killed this poor human, and I thought this would be a great time to have a bit of a photo shoot. You know, as you do. Average dinosaur behavior. Stand in front of a flashlight and take some photos. I like to do this on a lot of my dinosaurs because the light is just so unnatural. If you're something big like a Kano, you can actually pick a human up and just wave them around and have a disco with the flashlight, which is really fun. So this is when I decided I should probably go to Highlands, but considering the water was completely infested, I stopped here to get a drink. But I was a little concerned that there might just be a dino in here too, so I sat for a bit, waited. No dino came up to get air, so eventually I had a drink. And this little guy thought that he could jump on my head. And I was not ready for that to happen, so I kind of whiffed my tail slams there. But no worries. I'm not bleeding too bad, just calmly walk back over to the water. Surely he wouldn't jump again. That would be completely ridiculous. Okay. Well, this time I was paying attention, so I gave him a good kick to remember me by. Had a little yell at him too. He won't do that again. Well, eventually made it all the way to Highlands. I was born in that circle, and I made a big journey all the way around here. These raptors were like a reoccurring pest, infecting the rock, so when one jumped down, I thought maybe I'd have a little bit of a duel with them. At first, this group of dibbles looked like they were going to stand back and watch. I was feeling a bit rusty, not gonna lie, but there's only one way to sharpen your skills, and that's to practice. Well, that was until these dibbles decided that they'd had enough watching. I usually don't like to be in big herds because fights like these can be really fun, so hanging out with 4 massive dibbles, it doesn't really increase your chances of fun. If it makes you feel protected, then that's all good, but for me, I want to have some battles. So I was happy to try and move the fight around the rock and away from the dibbles, and the raptors seemed keen on the idea. This guy's trying to nip my tail, so I'm winding it back and forth, moving the hitbox out of the way when I can, which is really fun. I do that as a raptor actually when Tenos are chasing me, so it's kind of cool that you can do it the other way around as well. You can see I was actually doing a tail slam right then, or a kick, but either way, the raptor jumping on me stopped the animation. So that's another thing to watch out for with ping, is that some of the animations just don't go through server side. Really not sure why these dibbles are getting the message. I'm calmly walking away from them with a raptor at my side. Like, we're on the same page here. We are not wanting to have fun with those dibbles. We're moving away. We got our one-on-one happening here. But just when the fight may have been getting good, this other Teno rushes in to save me. No hate against him. It was actually very nice of him to come help. I would have helped another Teno if I saw them in that situation. But either way, that fight just didn't end up continuing. But as we ran back to the rock, we find another main character of the story. This Trike. He's a big bully, okay? He's attacking everyone. Right now he's having a go at the raptors. We were quite happily gonna sit on the side and just watch him. I even found this other group of Tenos, so we invited them. And now there's a total of 4 of us. We're still just sitting on the side, you know, I don't like to take over other people's fights. So it was fine to just watch, see what would happen. But when Sinner found some Sarahs in the distance, I knew that was something I definitely wanted to get in on. Were we bothering the Trike? I don't think so. We ran straight past him, didn't do anything to him, you know, watched his battle, didn't get involved. I know it can be pretty boring to be a Trike, so don't want other things defending you when you're trying to find a sliver of enjoyment out of a slow-ass animal. I feel like that had to have hurt, right? That was some airtime. But either way, he gets absolutely slam, kick, combo by all the other Tenos here. And the Trike, you know, he wasn't having that. Almost mows Sinner down here, but ends up attacking a Sarah, which at this point we think he's just a rule breaker because you're not actually allowed to defend other herbivores as a Trike. But then he does this kind of aggressive turn and I'm thinking, do not trust. Do not trust that trike. I make the first move, okay? I missed, but, you know, at least I tried. I've never attacked a trike as a Teno, so I really didn't know the hitbox just yet. I was just typing out to not trust him, and this poor Teno gets completely flattened by him. I went up around him, intending to chase the Sarahs, but at this point they were long gone, so I was just gonna go back and reunite with my Teno friends. Sinner and I were on the same page here. You know, we're sick of this trike. Comes in here, teases it a little. This is what Tenos do. They kick random things. We live to kick. He actually hit me right here, but it must have been a single pixel of my hitbox, because I took 0 damage. You can also see the raptors up on that wall. They were watching. They probably had the show of their lives during this fight. My tactic here when I was running away was to kind of swing my tail back and forth. I didn't want to create too much distance by just full sprinting in the opposite direction, but at the same time, if he hits your tail, then, you know, that's your hitbox. You can get pushed over, in which case he'll attack again once you're already on the ground. So I did not want that to happen. And of course, if someone else is coming in, always yield. You don't want to run headfirst into someone and get you both smacked. That's something I've learned from my Raptor days. You don't want to get pounced, you don't want to get body blocked. It's actually surprisingly difficult to land a hit. You have to be closer than you would think. It feels like the trike's hitbox is like buried inside them, where like if you kick just their tail, they seem to take no damage. But again, that could be a ping issue on my end. We just kept the pressure on, really. I was doing a lot of walking, trying to conserve my stamina, trying to only kick when I needed to. And it probably also helped on the stamina side that I was not fully grown. I was still around 80–85% at this point. Health-wise, that made this quite dangerous, but I honestly forgot during the fight that I wasn't full grown, so I was just full sending it. Give them a tail wiggle. You gotta tease them. That's the Teno way. Now right here, very important that I swerved, got my tail out the way of his hitbox. Don't you love that noise? The sound of a trike in pain fills my heart with joy. I ran around to the other side of him here. It's ideal when fighting anything as a pack to separate and get on complete opposite sides. Every time your target has to look behind them to see if your teammate is about to attack, that gives you an opening. That one was a bit of a close call, not gonna lie. Now, if you didn't know, a kick from a Teno does a huge amount of bleed. It also does a lot of raw damage, but for something like a trike that has a lot of health, him sprinting around is gonna drain a lot of blood also. So every time we kick him, we're stacking up our bleed. Tail slam is a lot more risky because you can't just kind of kick and run, it's a bit of a stationary move. But at this point I got a feel for how he played, and I was feeling confident enough to try and take advantage of the reach that a tail slam gives you. Unfortunately, one of my teammates actually got down during this. They survived somehow, but of course anytime a teammate gets downed, you gotta take advantage of the distraction. Gave that guy a couple kicks in his butt for the trouble. I was also very excited to see that he was looking a bit scarred up at this point, and you can see all the blood all over the ground. That's mostly just from him. Now what I didn't realize at first is that Vortex was absolutely being swarmed by raptors up on that rock above. He was protecting a baby Maya, so that was a whole nother side story that was going on, and he defended it very well. Some people also needed stam, and of course the person who got smashed needed to heal, but I wasn't quite done. At this point I'd built up a little too much confidence in this fight, so I was getting up close and personal with this guy. He was trying to utilize his slides, and since I'm so quick and he's so freaking slow, I could just keep him pace with his circles. And I was giving him a few little nibbles on the butt, which don't do much damage, but, you know, they're fun. We had Sarahs watching, we had Raptors watching. This was the show of Highlands at the time. It was also a full population server, so over 300 players, which means, of course, there's action everywhere. I felt confident about hitting him here because as you can see his head is forward, he's not looking back at. But now when his head is turned to the side, you don't want to go in for one of those moves. Vortex is still up there fighting those raptors. What a soldier. Now, unfortunately, in my dash to escape this charge, I make a bit of a mistake. Yup, the crime of body blocking. I run in front of this guy, and I think I got double kicked by both my teammates. So at that point, now that I'd been hurt, I wanted to just stop my bleed real quick, and Vortex was also getting absolutely swarmed, so I came up here to try and help him out. In hindsight, I wish I had stayed because the fight was just so cool, but the bleed from a kick, even for another Teno, can hurt quite a bit, so I really did just want to stand still, wait for that to stop, and what better place to do that but defending this poor little Maya. After a bit though, the Maya did decide to log out, so I just waited standing over him for him to log out, and then I sat in a bush a bit to heal. I also needed to pee, but when I came back, I saw this from where I was in my bush. Now the only way a couple raptors can pin a trike is when it has either incredibly low blood or incredibly low stam, and I think it honestly had both. I only saw about 1 or 2 raptors get off, so he must have honestly been on the brink of death. So, good on those raptors, this is a victory. And speaking of the raptors, they were spamming their mating dance right in front of us. Freaky as hell raptors. But considering we had a female in our group too, you know, fair's fair. You have to. And I think they liked it. I don't know how to explain this moment. I also found this other dead human, so I had to mog just a little bit. The raptors also finally put down their nest, so as the sun rose, we of course copied them. And I had to give them another little freaky dance. I don't know why. Please don't ask me. Another funny moment was these 2 little galleys just ran up to me. I don't know where they came from. One must have spawned here and then maybe the other used a friend code. But they were so cute. And I promise I did not mean any harm to them until they started running up to me and forcefully stubbing their toe on my body. I really didn't like that. I gave them chances. See, a little warning bite. I'm spinning in circles, friendly stuff. And look, he's spinning too. But then his galley instincts take over. He kicks again. A war-torn Teno such as myself can't put up with such things. So, I kill it. Did that stop the second one? No. Look at him. He's still going for it, and yep. He's gone too. At one point, one of the raptors gets off their sacred rock, so the 3 of us line up and decide that we now own the rock. No more raptors are allowed to climb up on this rock. Okay? Oh, and that one behind me? He's actually my sibling. I forgot to tell you guys that, but you can see the blue on his underside. So that's one of my siblings, which is really cool. And I saw this raptor standing up here. I was gonna try corner him until I noticed his little buddy. No, they just spent all that time nesting him in, you know. I like to kill things in this game sometimes. Perhaps children included, but come on, he's just a baby. I couldn't do that. So I just kind of followed him around, you know, put the fear of God in him. I was friendly calling, but I mean, he was smart, he was boosting it out of there. And the parent was circling around me, terrified for their child's safety. He got away in the end, but I wasn't gonna kill him, come on. Eventually, we found a new trike, but this one wasn't as silly as the first one. He stuck to the waterline, which is smart because there were a lot of dinos around. And he also wasn't falling for the bait, which is like a key part of attacking them. I mean, if they don't fall for the bait, you never really get the opportunity to kick them. This trike also didn't really do anything to us, so to be fair, we probably should have just left him alone, but my thirst for trike blood was just out of control at this point. Honest to God, I have no idea how he did that just then and lived. That was pretty impressive. We actually picked up extra Tenos before finding this trike, so that poor victim that just got flattened right there was one of the extras. He hadn't gone through the trike training that was the first battle. There's something about either the ping of this trike, maybe it was laggy, less laggy, the hitboxes were just different and a bit more strange. I mean, that hit he got on me, I feel like was a justified hit, but compared to the last battle where the trike was doing similar moves and I was at a similar distance, I wasn't getting hurt during any of that. So we weren't able to get behind him because he was up against the lake and he was doing some stuff with the hitboxes that was just making me nervous. He also wasn't getting baited very many times, he wasn't getting stuck in thrash animations as often. This trike was just using their brain a bit more than the last one, I think. So this was very unfortunately not a fight that went very well for us. On top of this, the stego that had been hanging around kind of ran in and started calling at us, sort of protecting the trike, which again isn't allowed in the server rules, but what can you do? He hit that Teno right then. How'd he do that? I don't know. Right here we unfortunately lost another soldier. That soldier was also my sibling, which makes it double sad. We lost another soldier, and I got hurt somehow, even though I thought at first maybe it was because my tail was in his hitbox, but I swear it was quite far to the side. I really don't know how he hurt me. Now at this point we're just losing soldiers left and right. This is an OG, this was our only female, and unfortunately the Dino got her. So it's just really not looking good. I mean, I sat here to have a yell at the Dino, as you do when your friend gets taken, and the trike was just doing his thing, you know, chasing people around, screaming. Trike activities. Another Teno joined us. He was super cool looking. Albino Teno. That is very rare as well. Definitely a more expensive voucher considering I can't store or keep the colors that I have since I'm nested in. I'll lose them eventually when I log out. And perhaps this is what drove me to take unnecessary risks. For some reason, the two of us decided to try and kick a baby stego. The one who dishes the kicks receives the kicks, apparently, because I took that, don't know how I survived, and I should have taken that as a sign to go away. But I really didn't. I thought maybe if the stego hates me so much, he might swing and hurt his child, which is, now that I say it, a pretty horrible thing to wish. But he did swing and hurt his child. He also hurt me. I feel like this should have been a body or tail shot, but maybe due to my ping, this somehow registered as a headshot. My life of glory had led to greed, and greed was my downfall. In honor of being a one-of-a-kind Teno, here are some cool screenshots. And a reminder, don't let your greed get you. I hope you enjoyed my video. It takes a long time to make, and it doesn't pay a single cent, so very much a passion project, so maybe consider subscribing.